This is honestly for those watching. We had a whole. I'm so mad because I record
This is
on
our
OBS.
second attempt at
Yes,
recording
because I
tonight.
record on OBS, and I don't. We're not doing a video podcast, at least not for the time being. And so,
Yeah,
like when
not
I
yet. We didn't
go
build up
to,
for that yet.
and so when I record on OBS, it always pops up and says like, "Oh, by the way, you don't have like video. Do you want to proceed?" And I always say yes. And I think I accidentally said no. So we spent like a good 2 hours recording for nothing.
It wasn't meant to be.
It
This was
wasn't.
meant to be the
Maybe
episode
we
for
need.
whatever
Yeah,
reason.
yeah. We'll try again. We'll try again next time.
Yeah,
But
no,
this
that topic
time,
will definitely come up. We will try again for that
yes. But
episode.
this
Maybe a
time,
couple.
this episode, and granted, I can see it's recording. There's a little red dot. We're good. But this
Double check.
episode,
Good.
yes, this episode is going to be a shorter one.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about this season 16 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes. yes. Uh,
That's the perfect intro to this. Hello,
yes.
hello, hello.
And when
Michelle
was your
Masad. No,
I
I'm just
love
starting introing this.
yes, I
Hold on.
love RuPaul's Drag Race. Like
Yeah, you got me into this show.
I did
You
because
were the original fan.
the first
How did you
oh,
find out? Like
because
find
I
it. There
think
we go. We'll do
you
that.
you texted me something like about Trixie. Maybe I saw a video about Trixie and I was texting you and you're like, "Oh, yeah, she was on RuPaul's Drag Race."
Mhm.
And then I remember I skipped all the other seasons and then watched her. And that's where I got introduced to her and Katya. And then after that, I watched her All Star season.
Yeah.
And then I just got into like all these other seasons. And then now I'm just obsessed.
They seem to be everyone's gateway into watching Drag Race. It
Yes.
always seems to be like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because they have the videos from Netflix where they just have like watch parties online or like that
Yeah.
they're
And they
basically
have
like
like the
how people
RuPaul's,
find the
like,
show now.
yeah, the Untucked and all of that. I do feel like you said, they're the gateway. I do feel like they're probably the most popular out
Mhm.
of all the Drag Race winners and
Yeah, speaking of
contestants.
earlier when we tried to record the first time we were just talking about YouTube, they're definitely the most
Yeah.
popular on YouTube,
Mhm.
so I think YouTube is like a big reason of what
Yeah,
they've
they
done.
yeah, and
Uh,
then so they have their Trixie has her channel, and then they have the podcast together. 2 podcasts, right? Where it's like a
I think
podcast
so,
and
yeah.
then the what is that? What is that?
Yeah, that's like
That's
YouTube specifically. That's
yeah. That's
that's
probably
what it's
like the
called, but
worst, like
that's what it's called, by the way. You didn't just randomly decide to make that.
no, no, yeah, by the way, just in case anyone doesn't, that's not I didn't randomly make a noise like that.
That's what it's called. UHHH.
Yeah, it's like, but that's yeah, I think they were definitely like the people that got other people who are not into drag into like the drag race world. But I was most excited because you told me this season there was going to be a queen from Philly, which I thought was cool.
Yep. Yeah,
Because
I think
I
the first
don't
one, if
feel,
I'm not
yeah,
mistaken. I think she's
mhm.
the first one.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone from Pennsylvania on the show.
Yeah.
So that was,
I mean, it took until season 15 for there to be a queen from Miami, and that was surprising to them because apparently Miami has a very big drag scene.
yep,
So for them to take that long, and then Philly's, I think,
yes.
just becoming known for like having like a scene, like a drag scene. So
hmm And so out of all the queens, who would you say for this season, who would you say is like your favorite and least favorite?
I mean, it's gonna sound like a bias because of the whole Philly thing, but I really think Saphira's got this. I really think
Yeah,
that I really think and RuPaul's voice. She's a winner, baby. You know what I mean?
yes. And so you
I just feel like
have
she's had this consistent, like similar to like Sasha Colby and other
mhm,
winners in the past that have had the professionalism
yep,
to the drag. It just seems like she's got this. Like it's
yes,
just
like Yeah,
The winds
Sasha
come with
Colby
ease for
was
her.
also like that, where
Yeah,
her presence and the way she performed and all of her outfits, like everything was just almost perfect. So I think she has a
yeah.
good
And then
chance.
real quick, I agree. And just to divert back, you were basically like when you told me that you would watch the other seasons, I started watching it. So
Yes.
now we're big old fans, you know?
I'm obsessed. And you
Yeah.
know what we're gonna see? Willow Pill.
Yeah,
I'm
I know we're
excited.
seeing Willow Pill, and then we're also seeing Jinx Monsoon in New
Oh,
York City.
yes. That
Yep. Yep.
by far is gonna be the highlight of my year. Like,
Yeah.
and not only Jinx Monsoon, but Corbin Blue. Like my
From High
childhood.
School Musical.
Oh, my
Yeah,
childhood.
see, it's Nostalgia Hour meets Drag
That
Race Hour. There you
Drag Race
go.
Hour, yes. So you have I'm gonna name all the contestants. So you have Hershey, Liqueur Jete, Mirage.
Of the
Uh,
of the Jete family,
yes.
because she's the same family as a Cornbread,
Oh
because
yes.
Cornbread
Yeah.
Jete. Mm-hmm.
And then you have this is probably my favorite name.
Yeah,
A mandatory meeting. Like
it's a great name.
I died.
Great. It's probably one of the
It's
best, if not the
probably
best
yes.
name.
And then you have Genevia Carr,
Uh-huh.
Megami, Tsunami Muse from the Muse family.
Name of a car with her leg hair art.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
wild to me.
And then Plasma, Maya, Iman LePage,
Tsunami
Dawn.
Moose.
Yep. Morphine Love, Q. And then the top three are Nymphia Wynn, Plain Jane, and then Zafira Crystal.
Spoilers if you haven't gotten to the most
Yes.
recent
Oh
episode,
yeah, I
but
should. Yeah, I should probably put a spoiler. But out of all those
all the
contestants,
two people that are going to listen to
mhm,
this. No.
was there one that you were like, eh?
I mean, let me bring up the whole list. I mean, from the beginning, there were a lot of queens this season that I feel like were very good at like the makeup and like the
Yeah.
aesthetic part of their drag, but like when it went beyond that, they
Yes.
either didn't know
Yeah.
what to do beyond just the makeup and the looking pretty. Like they call them mug queens, right? Like they
Yes.
have a good
Yeah.
mug, they paint their face well, but like beyond doing that,
Yeah.
didn't really have much, or there was a lot of other personalities that outshined them,
Yeah.
you know?
I do feel like let's say maybe Megami was okay, but she didn't
Yeah, I
really
mean, my
stand
whole
out
thing,
as much.
she seemed like sad all the time. That was my whole
Yeah.
thing. It was like every little thing. So didn't somebody call her like the Eeyore drag? I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And she did
You
look
know who?
sad a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just circumstantial. I don't know if it's just like I could imagine that being in front of the camera all of a sudden is a lot of stress. Like I
Hmm.
need to send you this video that Trixie did about the unknown secrets of what goes on like when you actually film Drag Race. I didn't
Oh
realize
yeah.
how fast they film the season, and I didn't realize that when they do this, they're away from their families, like in a hotel, like basically, and
Oh
they have to stay
yeah.
there.
I did
And
hear.
even if they get eliminated, they
Yeah.
tell them sometimes to stay because they have to bring them back
Yes, I
if
did
they get
hear that.
eliminated.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
so
then
it's
that
it's
sucks
probably like a very
because
isolating and lonely experience.
yeah, and then because like what if you did get eliminated but you didn't film parts of the episode yet? So like there's maybe parts of the episode that like maybe parts of the competition or if they're doing like the acting challenges or the music video challenges and you have to come back. It's like, but I'm already
Mhm.
technically gone.
Mhm.
Shouldn't they have just filmed that prior to them getting eliminated? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know like how it works like technically. What I hear is when they do the confessionals, they film the confessionals the day after the events happen.
Yeah.
So the events will happen, they'll go home, they'll come back because they have to wear the exact, which is like this one part would drive me nuts. They have to keep putting on the same outfit when
Yes.
they do the confessionals, and they have to keep doing the same makeup, look the same. But you can tell over time the way they start to, like, change slightly,
Yep.
like, their hair will change or, like, something else will change, and then all of a sudden you get to the finale and they look like a completely different person.
Yes.
You're like, "What? Who's that?"
And then I
Because all of
think
a sudden they
that's
know how to do, like, makeup better, or they
yeah,
get, like, more money to get, like, more
better
accessories
product.
and
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
And I think they do that a lot with reality TV where
Yeah.
they film them talking like their confessionals later
Mhm.
on. Which, well, I guess maybe it is hard to do it during. episode, but you already know what happened, so like it doesn't feel as genuine. Not that
Yeah, I mean,
not
I
that
don't
we
know how
can
they
tell. I guess as a viewer,
true.
you don't really notice it unless you're like deep diving. But
Yeah, I mean, they film it like the day after it happens, so like as I don't know if it's stayed like the same process, but like when I was watching Trixie's video, she said they film and then they go home for that day, and then the next morning you come and you film the confessional for the previous episode, and then you keep going. Like it goes like back to
yeah,
back to back. Like they just keep doing it that way. So it's like that must be a lot. Like you have to do all these things to perform, and then you go home, and then you have to get up, talk about what just happened, and then you keep going. Like
yeah. And then what if something happened that's like not okay, and then you have to come back and talk about like something you don't want to talk about.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But I mean, that must also be why the confessionals get so emotional because what happened is probably still so like relevant in
yeah,
their mind. So obviously, if they come back and talk about things like months later,
yeah,
it might not be as emotional, or even it might be more emotional when they do the reunions and people get into fights again.
yes.
That happened a lot with the past couple of seasons. Like people would come back for the reunion and
Oh
talk
yeah.
about their like previous beef, and then it would
Mm-hmm.
just come up all over again and they would fight again.
Yes. And there was a video or a picture, and I can't seem to find it, but it showed how many confessionals like each person had,
hmm
and I can't
This
find it
season
now.
wasn't I think I just saw that too. Didn't Morphine have a lot of them or like most of
Morphine,
them?
yeah, and then I think it said that Nymphia Wind only had like 99, but everyone else had like over 100.
Yeah.
Like, geez, like how many times are
Which
you?
in the moment you think it's even because you think it keeps going to them when they talk, but I
Yeah,
guess not.
like in
I don't know.
season 15, it says Sasha Colby had 84. Like,
Yeah.
did she need to talk that much in a confessional? No. And they didn't, and then out of the 84, how many were actually used? Like maybe two an
Right.
episode? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they film a lot of things just in case, and then
Just
they
in,
just edit and cut things
yeah,
out
and if there's something in there that's like not technically okay to
needed
say
or
out loud, then they would
yeah.
edit that out or take
And then
that
there's
out.
things that they claim they don't want to leave in, and then people leave in like they'll say something and they'll be like, "Don't play that
I
in
know.
the end, like don't play it, don't air it."
And
And
then
then
it's
they
in
do.
there and it's like, this is so funny.
So like
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just an act or if they're
I don't know.
genuinely asking them
Sometimes
not
I do feel
to
like,
use it.
depending on what they say, sometimes I really do feel like they're like, oh no, I just shit talk someone. Like, don't put that in. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
this is gold.
right, exactly.
But
But
would
if you had to pick if you could bring back one of the queens that were eliminated, who would you bring back, if anybody? You don't have to, but
honestly probably Q.
yeah,
I did feel
most
like,
recently.
and again, spoiler alert, if you care to watch it first. She was the most recent person eliminated.
hmm
And I don't feel like, based on her critiques and how she did, that she shouldn't have been eliminated.
Yeah.
But I
You know what
guess,
I think? You know why I have like a theory of what I think actually was happening. I feel like too many seasons in a row they had a top four,
mhm.
so they were probably just like, okay, we have to go back to have a top three again.
Yeah, I think the last few
That's what
seasons,
I
yeah.
think.
Which sucks
Cause
because I do really think she should have been in the top three.
I know,
Out of all the ones that are in the top three now, I'd probably replace Nymphia Wind and put Q back in.
yeah,
But I do feel like
I feel
Nymphia
that.
Wind did well in the challenge. But
Yeah,
overall,
I mean,
out of the four that are there, she did the
yeah,
worst overall.
overall, like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I guess when they pick who's gonna move forward, I've noticed that it's not they don't always go by like past things that have happened. They
No.
go by like what
The
presently
yeah.
happens, like right now in this specific challenge.
I guess in the end they do calculate more of like how they did overall.
Yeah,
Also, Plain Jane's only 24.
yeah.
I didn't know she was that young.
All the queens are young. All the queens are younger than us. Then besides Saphir, I'm pretty sure they're all younger than
Oh, oh
us.
yeah, Megami's 33. So
Okay,
some of them are in their early
okay,
30s. Wait, Maya Iman LePage is 34.
really?
That's
She
surprising.
might be. She's 35. 35.
Yeah.
Born in 88. She might be the oldest of the group.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then,
Because I think Saphira is 30. No, I think Saphira is also 35.
yeah, I think so. And
Let me
then
see.
I think,
Yeah, she's 35 as well.
yeah, I think the Snatch game for this season, I do think was pretty good,
Uh-huh.
but it wasn't my favorite Snatch game.
No.
But I do think, overall, I do think that Saphira did the best in the Snatch game,
Yeah, I agree.
along with Plain Jane. She also did pretty well.
Yeah, I guess it was just the only difference between like I saw a lot of comments and I kind of agreed with it. They were like Saphira was dropped, Saphira was dropped. But I think the one difference is they also like when you take the character and interact with other people.
Yeah.
And Saphira was mostly just talking to Rue. She
Yes.
wasn't interacting with anybody else.
Mhm.
But Jane was taking the character and she was talking to like Nymphia and she talked to like Morphine and she talked to
Yeah.
like the other people. So I think that was like the edge that
Yeah.
made her win,
And yeah. And some of the other contestants chose characters that didn't, like, you couldn't do much with it.
Yeah.
And I don't
Or
know.
rather they could have and they just didn't.
Yeah.
One of the actual characters was taken from a skit in Jinx's season of All Stars.
Really?
The yes. Remember the courtroom skit where they were the fairy tale characters?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You remember how I don't know if it was Shay. I want to say it was either I think it was Shay Coulee was the gold tooth fairy in that skit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where Tsunami Muse got the idea. So I'm like, wait a minute. It was literally taken because
Yeah.
some people were trying to say like, "Oh no, that wouldn't have been out by then." It's like, no, no, it definitely was. By the time they filmed,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was
No.
fully out.
And it's okay to do the same character because
Right? Yeah,
there's
you can
some
pay
people
homage
that
to it or
did,
do it your own way.
there was two people that did Paris Hilton,
Uh huh.
and that's fine. But if you're going to do it, you got to do it better than the person that already did it. And you didn't.
Yeah.
And then you have
Yep.
Nymphia wins. Jane, was it Jane Goodall? Is
You
that who
cut
she
off.
was?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's just making
It,
monkey noises the entire time.
I know.
And
That was the whole joke.
but like, oh,
Uh,
I can't. I'm like,
and well, at least they didn't like give her the win. Then I would have been like, huh?
no. And I just
No.
don't get, like, yes, I
You
guess
can
you
tell which
could.
people are doing bad because when the dead air like happens,
Yes, and
you
it's
know.
just completely silent. And
Yeah,
or like
and
when
we're
Rue
just like,
clearly
okay.
throws you like a bone and is giving you those easy thing to respond to,
Uh-huh.
and they just can't. And you're
Yeah.
like to choose, if you're gonna choose a character that's not generally like funny or known to be funny, then you have to come up with something great. You just making monkey noises the entire time does nothing. Like, it was not funny, and her makeup was like okay,
Yeah,
but I'm looking at a side by side picture and like she could have done a better job. But then you
I know.
have Saphira doing
I
James.
think it was more like meant to be like a comedy, like drag version of the makeup. Like
I
that's
guess,
I
yeah.
guess, but I don't know.
And
It
then
wasn't a strong
out
performance.
of all of, yeah, and then Saphira's was, I was dying with her as James Brown. Like,
Yeah. Well, because
and
she paid attention
yes,
and she saw that like I think it wasn't even in this season. It wasn't even mentioned. It was mentioned in previous season when Rue said, I saw James Brown at a concert in
yes.
19 whatever. And
And
Saphira
she
knew
took,
that
yeah,
information, literally saved that information and brought it back up.
yes. And it's like
Like I
when,
died when she was like, "My name is James Brown. Last time I met you was 1960."
and she was like, aren't, like, you're playing a character. She's like, I'm not a character. I'm James Brown. And you're like,
Oh
that's
yeah, when she called
funny.
her out about the shoes.
Yeah,
She called her
what
out
do
about
they
the
call them?
character shoes is what
Character shoes.
Rue called
Yeah.
them.
And it's
Because
just,
she wore that in the
she
when
wore
they
it
did the
multiple
Sound of
times.
Music. She
And
wore
then,
it multiple
yeah, and
times,
then the
definitely in
one,
the
it was like
musical.
bedazzled, I think, or like sequins, and Michelle Visage like called her out on it.
Yep. Yep. I
But
think it was
also,
in the episode with the 80s outfit, was it not?
yes,
I
I
want
think
to say.
so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but that's a good way to do Snatch Game. And same with
Uh-huh.
Jinx when she did Judy Garland.
Mhm.
Obviously, she was in a prior season, but she referenced something from her prior season that Rue and Michelle and everyone would understand. So it
Yeah.
worked out in her favor.
Yeah.
So,
They
and
love
then,
like callbacks to that because it
yes,
just shows how
that by
smart
far
they are.
best Snatch game. Like,
Oh yeah,
hands down, Jinx.
I agree.
Yes. And then you have Patty LaPone. That was played by Plasma?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is actually I've seen done funnier even on
Yes.
TikTok than there's this one guy I gotta send you on TikTok. He sings songs as Patty LaPone.
Oh,
And Patty LaPone has like a
yes.
very like nasally
Hmm.
like voice, so he'll just take like I think he just randomly just like brings up songs and sings them like her. But
Yes.
I thought the Plasma I had already seen those TikTok videos when that released, so I thought when they did that, the Plasma was gonna do that because
Yes.
it
And she
l
didn't.
leaved a lot of leadway, and she didn't even sing once.
No.
Patti LuPone's like a Broadway singer. That's
Yes.
what she's known for. She should have done something like what Jinx did with, like, singing, like, "Oh, is that my camera?" and just start singing.
Yes. And like,
But, yeah,
and even
I
with
gotta
James
send you those
Brown,
TikToks.
like Saphira, like quick changed, and she had like a whole cape
Mhm,
on, and she was doing like a little dance. Like,
mhm,
she played the
mhm.
character so well. If you're picking a character that's known for something, like,
Uh-huh.
do it.
Yeah,
Like,
kinda the more I think about it, like, it's literally just the interaction with the other queens. Because if it would've just been on creativity and, like, dedication alone, like, Saphira really should have won that, honestly.
yes.
But
Yeah. And then it brings me
there
back
were
to,
so many good jokes. Like, I love the joke when she was like, "The first time I wrote my first song, I was in jail, and it was called 'Let Me Outta Here.'"
yes. And then it kind
That
of
was
reminds
great.
me of Bianca Del Rio when she did Judge Judy.
Uh-huh.
She also
The commitment
referenced,
the
yeah,
commitment to the bit.
she referenced something with RuPaul that he would understand because obviously he's a big fan of Judge Judy. But she also
Yeah.
interacted with some of the other contestants during it, and so that made her more memorable. And then you have, was it Morphine that did Anna Delvey?
Yeah. If you don't know the context, like,
I
most people
don't.
don't know
No, I have
what it
no.
is. Like, she was just like, a real life criminal that was, like, a fraud, like, basically
Huh.
committed fraud. And then there was, like, this Netflix show made about her called Inventing Anna. I think it was a Netflix show. Could
Huh.
have been Hulu, but it was some show called Inventing Anna. And I guess at the time when they filmed it, the, season, that was, like,
Yeah.
relevant and people were watching it and binging it. But beyond that, it's not like, people are not gonna know who that
Yeah.
is. So,
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
didn't make sense. But then again, there are some that I've never heard of, but I can still like laugh and make a joke about it and be like, "This is funny," regardless.
Right, because
Because I
they can
think
break through the character and it will be funny.
who
But
was it? I can't remember. I think it was
who?
Raja. Remember her season, her Snatch Game, where
Yeah.
she did that doll, not doll, but
Wasn't she also
oh,
in
Madam.
Jinx's?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was also in because they did the double snatch game. She was
Yep.
also in with, Jinx in that
Yes.
same
Mhm.
All-Star season.
Yeah, and she was
But yeah, we
Madam,
didn't know who that
whatever.
was. We didn't know who that was. It was like an old vaudeville
Yeah.
comedian thing, but just because it was just funny because of the physicality that she was
Yes.
doing.
And then you have, who was Maya in Snatch Game? You remember?
It was a random character. It was a made-up character. It was,
She did.
Trina's cousin,
Yes.
Shaquita. It was a
Yes.
made-up character.
That was a
So it was
good take.
basically just like it was basically just like a type that she was doing because she
Yes.
was like, I'm pulling from the attitudes of the girls I know from Miami and people
Yes.
that I
Yeah.
know around me. So it was funny because she was just tapping into something that was in real life,
Yeah.
basically.
And that to me is a good idea. Compared to
Yeah,
like, oh, being the gold tooth fairy, like it doesn't exist, but you could have done so much more with it and you didn't. And then here
right.
you have Maya doing a made up character that technically doesn't exist and killing it. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she definitely was one of the like she was stronger than
yeah.
um a couple of the other
Yeah.
queens
And
for
then
sure.
who did Megan McCain? Who was that?
Megan McCain was gone.
Who,
Which could have gone a lot for she was definitely
Stella?
the like the epitome of like a safe queen,
Yeah.
like, quote unquote.
That could have been
because there
done
was a
pretty
lot
well
that she
too.
could have done a lot of it.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, because it was like she used to host the View or co-host the View, so you could
Yeah.
have pulled from so many
Oh,
things
so
from the View,
many. Yeah.
so many bits that she did. And then somebody
Hmm.
else said like, what was another critique? They said, oh, they could have done a joke where like she became like a liberal by the end or something, like
Yeah.
changed her political
Because her
views or
dad's John
something
McCain,
funny.
so you could have easily done
Exactly.
some joke
Exactly. She could
about
have been
him.
like the being like a daddy's girl or something, or
Yeah.
like a rich daughter or
Hmm.
whatever, you know?
I just think, yeah, hers was kind of, it was okay, but it could have been funnier.
Oh yeah.
But definitely Saphira and Plain Jane were pretty good. And also,
Yeah, and then the last queen that was just basically like a safe queen was Q. She was
yeah.
doing uh Amelia Earhart, which
Yeah.
is a good choice because it's like we know of this. It's a classic like, oh, we know of this figure, but we don't know what they do. Like how the one season somebody did like William Shakespeare,
Uh-huh.
like it's a character like we know of who they are, but not really like how they acted.
Yes.
But it was okay. It
It
was
was
safe.
like in the
I laughed a
middle
little
where
bit.
like in the first few things that came out of her mouth were funny, and then it was kind of just middle of the road.
And then somebody had me laughing when they pointed out they were just like, "Wait, she did the same voice that she did when she was the Brick from Stonewall." I was like, "Oh
Ah,
wait."
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, but that was
So
just funny to
one of
see.
my favorite things, and I sent you this video because RuPaul laughs at everything. But
Uh-huh.
when you get him like laughing so hard that he
Yeah.
can't stop. So
Mhm.
obviously they were doing like a Vegas episode where I guess RuPaul has like a Vegas show and there's like dancers and everything. I forget what it's called.
Mhm.
They have all that.
Yeah, it's the drag show they have
Yeah.
in Vegas. They just like rotate out different like contestants and stuff throughout the
Yes.
years, and they change out the cast every now and then.
And so they had a bunch of the dancers from the drag show on to get like the full drag makeup. And Plain Jane, because they have to pick characters for their other like their counterparts, right? So Plain Jane names her partner Lazy Susan.
Yep.
And
And RuPaul
oh,
just dies like
and it's like a solid like 20 seconds of him just dying of laughter. But it is really
Mhm.
funny. Like if
I know.
if Lazy Susan were an actual drag queen, that
Yeah.
it's like a
And
mandatory meeting
it
where
goes
it's
so
like
well, right,
so funny.
exactly. It goes so well, but it goes so well too, like plain Jane Lazy Susan.
Yes.
It
And I
goes
think
well
that's
as like
probably
the
why
quote
Rue's
unquote
laughing
family
so much.
resemblance.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And I was dying alongside Rue. Like it was cracking me up so much.
Yeah.
And like all of them were fine,
Um,
but like Lazy Susan, and
I know.
I think she
It was a
did,
really good name,
yeah. And out of everyone during that episode, she did the best.
which is last week's challenge.
Yes. And
So,
then what I didn't get was because Saphira picked this like beautiful like dress made of like stones and everything. But if you
uh-huh.
know the challenge ahead of time, like they tell you, you're gonna be, making over this person, and you're also going to be like dancing and doing a choreography. Like,
Yeah,
don't pick an outfit that you can't dance in.
I know.
That was her
I
downfall.
think it was because most of the dresses, it seems to be that most of the dresses are like Saphira can sew, but she doesn't really sew. So like a lot of
Yeah.
her dresses are like already like made. So
Oh,
she
and they're
just like brings
beautiful
them
dresses.
in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like the majority of her closet is more so like dresses like that. They're
Yeah.
like very grand, very large. So I guess maybe it was getting to the end of the season, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't use this dress yet."
Yes.
Maybe that was like the reason, but
And then so she had a,
I felt bad because it ended up
yes.
the dresses that they ended up using were not
No.
ugh,
And
no
she had to
family
borrow
resemblance.
another dress from Plain Jane.
Oh yeah, that's right. She
Yeah.
did. That's right.
And I just, also, something that annoys me, and maybe it's just me, and I don't know how I would be if I were a contestant, but coming into a competition knowing that there's probably going to be a sewing challenge and not knowing how to sew, and so
Oh
you're
yeah,
relying on somebody else. So like Saphira was helping, who was it, Maya? I think
Maya,
she helped
so
sew and
helped
do
Maya like a
so
couple
many
times.
outfits for her. You're wasting so much time.
I know, because you don't have enough time to begin with.
Yeah, and then you have to
And then you're helping other
hopefully,
people.
fingers crossed, you know, you have enough time for yourself.
I mean, I guess it just goes to show how good Saphira is that she still had those looks turned out so well, even after she had taken the time to help Maya.
Yeah.
Which
I,
again is just another reason why I'm thinking.
yeah. I
You
think
know what? You know what I do wonder though.
mhm.
I feel like Saphira's gonna win it. I wonder who do you think they're gonna give Miss Congeniality to this year? That's what I'm really
Ooh,
wondering.
ooh.
I haven't even
Well,
thought.
because
I
most
don't
of
even
them
know.
I don't, not that they don't deserve it, but I do feel like most of them, like I haven't really, like in past seasons, you can kind of tell, like certain
Who
people,
would get it?
like I
Yeah,
think Monet Exchange got it her season, and like it made sense.
yeah.
But like, there's no one really that I'm like, oh,
No, weirdly enough, not to
maybe
be like on the Saphira train, but I feel like Miss Congeniality would also be.
can you win both?
I don't know if that's ever been done though.
It's
That's the
never
whole
been
thing.
done, but I wonder if that's
You know,
possible.
it would be a really like I would be shocked. I don't know. I'm just like I can't see an ending where Saphira doesn't win. But the only one that I could see is what if they gave Miss Congeniality to Saphira and Plain won the whole thing.
I could see that,
But
or vice
I could
versa. Like,
see
what if?
that would be a kick in
But
the
what if
ass to
Plain Jane
Saphira though.
won Miss Congeniality? That
That would be so
God,
funny.
I think if
Wait, don't
they,
they all vote?
I
Don't
think
they
they vote
don't
for
they
yeah,
vote on it? That would
yeah.
be funny if they did that to be funny.
And so I'm thinking if they're all voting on each other,
Yeah,
I think it'll probably go to Q, maybe,
maybe, maybe, maybe. I could
maybe
see that.
Dawn.
I don't know. Towards the
Um,
end of like when Dawn was there, they kind of started to paint her like a villain almost.
yeah,
So I don't know. I
I
don't know. And
don't.
there's
There's
other
no
a
one
couple
that's
of the other
like
ones that I
I can
could. I
pinpoint.
don't know.
Like, oh, this person definitely would do that. Like,
I was
yeah.
no, not. I was gonna say Maya, but no, I was just like she was just quiet, really.
She
Like
was quiet. She
that's
didn't really
all.
do much.
Yeah,
And it wasn't until she did the Snatch Game where I'm like, oh, finally we're seeing things
maybe
from
Tsunami.
her.
Maybe Tsunami could get Miss Congeniality. Tsunami Muse,
Mm,
maybe.
maybe.
I don't know.
Or
I don't know.
Nymphia.
Yeah,
But I
wait, I
don't,
could see that.
but they're voting on each other, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I just can't gauge
I
this
think
season. There's no like.
if Saphira doesn't win, I think she would do Miss Congeniality. But my theory is like, do they vote prior to them announcing who won? Because I read somewhere
Yeah,
that
I think they had.
they each have to
What did you
film
read?
themselves winning
Mm,
prior to them actually announcing who won. I think I
huh.
read that somewhere. So they each
I don't
film
know.
a winning reaction.
Oh wow,
So I'm
that's wild
wondering like
because
how it
that's wild
like
because
how
they're just
they
like on the stage. Like, how do
yeah.
they? That'd be
I
a shame if they find out ahead of time. That way, it's like really fake.
I don't think they find
I don't
out who
know.
won ahead of time. I think they all just film a you won
Like a reaction in
a
case.
reaction. That way they already, have it aired. I don't know. But I'm thinking if Saphira doesn't win, she would probably get Miss Congeniality. And
Yeah,
I'm
because I
wondering
mean,
like,
she did so many. Like, she Maya went to her with a bunch of problems, and then that one week when I sent you the video from the one week when
oh, when
I think it was the
Plain.
week they did the bathroom challenge when
Yes, and they
Plane
were
was getting
like
upset, and then
working as a
Saphira did that
team.
thing like right,
Yeah.
yeah, she did the thing like write down your work, which is a real thing that they. I definitely learned it in a couple of classes at Cabrini where they're like write down your worries, read it out loud,
Yeah.
rip it up, and throw it behind you. That way, it's gone.
Yes. Yep.
And it was
And
great because it worked, and it does
yes.
work most of the time if you do that in real life. I've done
Yeah, they do
it.
say I forget which podcast. I think it's I can't remember what it's called, but a few of the people from Full House have a podcast.
Mhm.
And so I think it was um the lady that played Kimmy Gibbler. She was
Oh yeah.
talking about how I think like she got divorced and she sent like a bunch of emails to like her ex at the time, I guess just going over her thoughts and feelings. And then she said, if could go back and fix it, like I would type everything out or I would write all my thoughts and feelings and then just get rid of it. And it's the same kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like instead of actually like saying how you're feeling, just get it out on paper, throw it behind you. It's in the past.
Mm,
That's why I really think Saphira should win Miss Congeniality, but I don't think they could do both at the same time.
I don't think so.
No.
I would rather her just win the whole thing and then like
Yeah.
them give it just continue out of like well, you know what too they also give out? I wonder what they'll they do that thing for like person that gets the worst look. They give them the golden boot.
Oh yes.
I wonder who's gonna do that. I feel like it's
Probably.
maybe gonna be
Who do you think?
maybe I feel like it's gonna be a mandatory
I was
meeting
gonna
for that
say
one
that
look
because
where she,
her, yeah, the alien
well
whatever
the
look she had.
well the no when she had the look where they all had to wear like short wigs and she had like the bird's nest. You remember
Oh,
that?
I was
The
thinking it
two
was where she looked like an alien. She had like the blue face and like the purple highlight.
oh the purple yeah the purple
Yes,
makeup
yes,
that was the entrance look I'm pretty sure.
yeah. That
I
was
think so.
just, yeah.
So yeah, it could be probably more than one look. No offense, but
Honestly,
I don't know how she wasn't like the first one to go. I'm
she
sorry
had
for
a
like
lot of not great looks, but I
no.
I remember the bird nest one, and she had like the
Yeah,
blue
that's
hair, and then she had
mhm.
two other like
Mhm.
wigs next to her,
Yeah,
and it just,
and I just don't get
yeah.
why she did that.
But then she had the alien look, and she had the purple face with the green hair. That didn't
Uh-huh.
even. That didn't. No.
Yeah, I think she might be the one
Yes.
getting the boot.
Also, you know what I miss?
What?
They don't do it every season, but I loved when they did the roasting challenges,
Yeah.
and they would roast like it was like the RuPaul roast, and then
Mhm.
what's his face? Ross Matthew has his own roast episode.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that was that not in season 15? Did they not do that with Sasha Colby's group, the roast of from Ross
I
Matthews?
can't
I
remember.
feel like it was either if it wasn't 15, it was 14 with Willow's
I think it
group.
might have been Willow's season, and then
Okay.
they also had a roast of Michelle Visage
Oh
too.
wow. I gotta look up
You
when
have
that
to.
was.
That one cracks me up, and it's so.
I'm
But
gonna
like
see
they
what
need to
year that
bring
was.
stuff like that back.
Mhm.
And then I don't know if they're still making All Stars or not because it's not on Hulu, so I don't know. Yeah, 8 seasons
Yeah, I
of
mean they're in the
RuPaul's.
process of they're supposedly it's each summer that they do All Stars. So
Yeah,
supposedly right now they're in the middle of casting for it. Supposedly, but
I
if we hear anything, it'll probably be around the summertime.
yes, and I my favorite because their Snatch Game. They usually do like the Snatch Game of Love.
Yeah, in the All Stars,
Hmm.
or they do it in a different way,
Yes,
or they'll do like in Jinx season, they do like a double snatch game or whatever. They don't do it in the
yes,
traditional
yeah.
format for All
And
Stars
so I
because
like,
everything in All Stars is turned up to 11. So if they have a challenge where they usually have to create one look, have to create like three, and
yeah,
they turn up everything to 11 there.
but I miss the roasting challenges probably the most, and I love the reading challenges.
Yeah,
Those are so funny. Like they
they
go
do that at
hard.
least once a season.
Because you do remember, and I don't know if it was aired or not, but in Katya's season, All Star season, she was reading oh, what's her
Is this
face?
the Roxy Andrews read?
Roxy, yeah, the Roxy Andrews reading. She goes, ah, I think about you every morning at the bus stop. And
Which, if
like
you know the context of that, is quite a read.
because
If you know the
she got left by like what her mom, I think,
like parents or
parents,
parental
and
figure,
when
her
they
and the
she got
siblings.
left as
I'm
like a
pretty sure.
kid at the bus stop.
Yeah.
And that
So to
read.
just go in like that.
That was, yeah, that was probably my favorite read.
There was a couple of them this season that really got me. I don't even I gotta read them. I gotta see if I can bring up
Yes,
the ones from season 16.
because oh, it's so funny. Let's see if there's. Oh, and there was one season. Um, I forget who it was, but there was. Oh, my brain can't remember it. He's so mad. Oh,
It's
yeah.
good.
Okay, here you go.
We're basically just becoming advocates for people to watch the show.
So, it was I gotta wait for the ad to, um
Goddamn YouTube ad.
oh, first of all, the YouTube ads, now, like, when you skip a YouTube ad, it goes straight to the other ad. Do you ever see that?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Oh, so it was in season 15 when Sasha Colby says that Anitra's name sounds like the insurance company that Lucy had to use to pay for that shoddy facelift. It's
Not bad.
and then there was the one um I can't remember. Who was do you remember season 15 at all?
I'm trying to think of.
Sasha
No,
Colby
I
was
don't
in
remember
it.
like the exact reads. I don't remember the exact reads, but
Oh,
Sasha Colby was kind of like really theatrical
yeah,
with hers, and she said it like this, and she talked like this.
yeah. Oh, I can't remember. It was Lucy LaDuca. And then she was reading
Oh, I just heard the read that Q gave Dawn.
oh,
To
what
be like,
was
your
it?
name should be Dusk. Your name should be Dusk because you look better in the dark.
Ah, yes. And I love Jinx's all of her reads were so funny. But when I think it was to Raja, and she was like, "You're like a sister, and you're like a mother. You're like a grandmother to me." I was like, "This is so funny." Oh yeah, um, when Lucy LaDuca says to Miss Malaysia, "I really think you should commit to the name Malaysia and disappear like that flight."
Jesus.
Like some of
Yeah.
these reads are like, and then because there
Well,
was
no, season 15 was brutal.
oh yeah, and then
They were
there was
brutal.
remember Selena Estides from that
Mhm.
season. Lucy also
Yeah,
said,
and Rue would just howl every time she had the serenade.
yes, and Lucy LaDuca also said like, "Oh, Selena Estides, I think we can all agree and say like when I say Yolanda shot the wrong Selena." Like
Yolanda shot
Lucy
the wrong
LaDuca went hard
Selena.
on her read. Like it's
Yeah.
so and then Mistress Isabel Brooks. You know how she had those
Mhm.
heels that were like really tiny?
Yeah, the kitten
You
nails.
get the kitten heels. And she's like,
Mhm.
but it's not her fault. They start off as stilettos. I think
Yeah,
by she had the best reads, I think, of that
I
season.
think so too.
So funny.
Did you won the challenge? I think
I
so.
think so.
Yeah.
But I just
And now
love
we see why.
yes.
Because reading is what? Fundamental.
Fundamental. Now let me if you I know like most people I feel like would not watch RuPaul's Drag Race because of the fact
But
that
they
it
should.
is Drag Race, but like you have to watch it because
It's just
just
entertaining.
it's entertaining.
It brings me joy.
It's
Like,
so
you know?
funny. Like I will go back and rewatch some of the reading challenges and some of the snatch games because it's just so funny. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
unrelated to RuPaul's Drag Race, but I have a Facebook status, okay? Because you know how we always end these episodes, most of them,
Yes.
with Facebook status. I don't
Mhm.
know. This is definitely something I found online. It has to be. Like
Okay.
who would let me? Who no? 13 years ago, March 22nd, 2011.
Mhm.
I'm not clumsy. It's just the floor hates me, tables and chairs attack me, and the wall just gets in the way.
That was definitely another Facebook post that you like saw somewhere.
I got a whopping 0 likes. Zero
A
likes.
whopping 0.
And I don't know why younger me decided this was going to be like a banger of a Facebook status. Like,
Mhm.
I think my brain back then was like, this is gonna, like, people want to see this. Like, no. No one wants to see any of that. No.
I mean, we just thought it was important, like, just to call back to my Facebook status from which I definitely think that I took this from somewhere. On March
Oh
28th
God.
of 2012, I posted, "I'd give anything to be back in kindergarten again. You got naps in school, everybody was friends, and your biggest problem was deciding which crayon to color with."
Oh my!
Like, that definitely
You definitely Googled like, but what I always wonder back then, thinking about it now, like what compelled us to write statuses like that? Like, did you see? Is that something where you
attention.
saw
Like,
it? Like, I wonder if you were
probably.
scrolling through Facebook and you saw that and were like, "That's really funny."
Yeah, it's one of
Or
those
were you on
statuses
like
where it's like,
Tumblr?
copy and share here if you feel.
Yes. Also,
And then
have
at
you
the
ever
end,
seen
at the end of that status, I put hashtag good times.
hashtag good times throwback
Yeah,
to when we
while
didn't
I
have
was
any
living even more good
responsibilities?
times in
Yes.
2012 because I didn't have the responsibilities that I do now.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
2012 was what?
we were
2012
junior,
was a year before, yeah, junior year.
junior. Yeah. I mean,
So I was like, man, I didn't appreciate the good times. And then now I'm looking back and I'm like, man, I didn't appreciate the good
well,
times
Grant,
again.
like 2012 junior year, you is not wrong. I mean, kindergarten
Yeah,
was a time.
yeah.
I don't think I got
I
nap
mean,
time, but
that was when I was like wanting to sleep in like chemistry class, and I was thinking like, oh, remember when we had naps in
remember when I
school?
only had to pick the purple crayon?
Right.
But then, yeah,
Uh,
because then you look back when you're in like your high school years and you're like, oh, I wish I could go back to this grade. And then as an
yeah,
adult, you're like, I wish I could go back here. I honestly, as an adult now, don't want to go back. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
maybe kindergarten,
At least
because like you said,
we didn't have to do taxes though,
yeah,
you know?
no taxes. But I had to
Now we're
take
adulting.
mounds of tests. I had to study
True.
constantly. Like,
Yeah. I wouldn't know. To have a test now, I don't remember the last time I've had to take a test at all. You know
no,
what I
do
mean?
you remember the Scantron test? We had
Oh
to
yeah,
fill in
they
like
were
the little
horrible.
bubbles. And but then the test always yelled at you at the top, like, "Don't go outside of this circle. Fill in the circles all the way." And you're like, "Ooh, damn,
It's like, is it that serious?
is it that serious? Like, am I gonna get it wrong if I go a little outside the circle?" So I was hardcore, like,
There were some scantrons that were like sensitive. Like if you went outside of the
yeah,
circle, it would mark it as being wrong, or it would mark it as
yes.
answering for more than one answer,
And did you ever
which is
have those
crazy.
moments? At least I know I did. Like, if I didn't know some of the, I would just be guessing.
Uh huh.
Like, oh, I had two B's in a row, so I don't want to go B again. Because there's no
True.
way the teacher's going to put three B's in a row. So I'm going to do A and just like guess and hope that it's right. Like if you see too many of the same answer in a row, you're like, that can't be right. I'm just going to throw a random answer in there.
Good time. No,
But
I was about to say good times? Question mark?
hashtag,
No,
hashtag good times? Question mark?
no. Hashtag better off without scantrons.
Hashtag put that on a
I'm
t-shirt.
glad that put that
better off without Scantrons. I
better off without.
honestly would wear that.
Well,
Because
that was a
I feel
little.
like half of the time you don't even use the knowledge that you got from school. Like you
Yeah,
do, but like when am I've never once used calculus outside of calculus.
I didn't even have calculus.
I failed. I did it.
That's how I didn't.
I failed it. And then I was like, absolutely not. So I changed majors and was like,
I was so bad at math that I didn't even get that far in math.
I was
so,
so bad at math.
so,
No.
so jokes on me. Life.
Joke's
I don't know.
on me. I can't even take
I
it.
guess I couldn't
Well,
even
it's part of
handle
my major,
physics.
which I didn't realize I was going to have to do
In
so much
pre-calc.
math.
I don't think I even had pre-calc.
Me
No, I don't
neither.
think I did.
No, I was in
I don't think
college
I did.
and one of the required math courses was calculus, and then I failed. And then I talked to my advisor, and he's like, "You're going to have to take it again." I'm like, "I'm going to fail again. Like, I'm sorry, this is one of those classes that I'm just not going to get it." And then he was
You're
like,
like, I know
"Well,
myself.
you can switch tracks in your major." And I was like, "I didn't know I could do that." And he was like, "Yeah, there's, the business side of it. Instead of it being heavily based in math, it's heavily based in business plus the technology." So like if you do that, you won't have to take the math again, and then we'll cancel out the failure because like it's not
Hmm.
in your degree. And I was like, all right.
Sounds good to me.
Why didn't they tell me that when I was trying to get my major that there was another option? I thought there was only the one. But,
Right. See,
but now as an
just the
adult, I'm
excellence of
like,
the school system.
yes. But I'm an adult, no math, no nothing. It's great. And I can live in peace.
Yes, it is.
No math. But I do math in
No, no.
work, and I'm like, sometimes I will. Do you ever feel so stupid doing basic math?
Yeah.
Like I'll be at work, and I'm like, is this correct? And I'm like, I should go like ask the doctor. Like I'm filling these meds. I want to make sure like I'm all right. And then I feel so stupid going up to my manager and being like, can you double check that this is correct? I'm like, I'm almost 30 and I feel like stupid. Ah,
And but jokes on the teachers when we were growing up, they were like, "Oh, you need to know how to do this. You're not always gonna have a calculator in
it's
your
like,
pocket." Jokes on you. Now I do have a calculator in my pocket.
in my pocket at all times. Yes.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Calculator
Honest,
in my pocket now.
I'm gonna, one day when we have merch, we're making like, I feel like we should just only sell t-shirts that have the stuff we say on it. Like,
Yeah.
why
No,
sell
just the
mugs
literal
or
phrase,
maybe
the
hats?
literal
Maybe. Yes.
mug hats. We got a whole brand.
We're gonna have put that on a hat. On a
Oh my god, put that on a mug. On a mug.
hat. Wait, write this down. Hold on.
Yeah, right. This. Ah,
Anyway,
so that was our little short,
yes. Let's
just a little
let
just
us.
a little makeup episode for the fact that we didn't record the
I'm
first one.
so mad, and it makes me so well. And I should have known that it wasn't recording because the first time there was no little red light. But my
Mm-hmm.
brain told me I was recording because of the fact that the thing popped up being like, "You have no face," and I'm like, "I know." Hmm. At
It's all
least,
good. We have
yes,
technology, you know.
I have a degree. It's fine. But anyway,
Uh,
thanks for listening. Hope you watch RuPaul's Drag Race. If you're like
yeah.
me, I would definitely just start with season, what was it, 3? Was Trixie in Katya?
No, 7. That was
7.
season 7.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Season 7.
The show started way earlier
Oh, yeah.
than we thought it did.
Yep.
So, and you can definitely see, actually, it's really funny if you go and watch the first, like, season and see what it looks like then versus now.
Yep.
It's quite different.
Yes.
They've definitely come a long way.
Yeah, it started in, looks like 2009.
2009, yeah.
Yep.
So,
But start off, I would say, with Trixie's season 7. Then she was
mhm.
in All
I'd say
Stars
season
3.
5 is a good one to do as
That's
well,
true.
because there's a lot of
Is
memes that
that
came from that.
Jixie
That's Alyssa.
Jinx's?
That's Jinx, yeah,
Yep.
and Alyssa Edwards and Coco Montrese.
Yes.
The girl, look how orange you look. Like that's yeah.
Yes.
Watch season 5 just for the memes alone.
Yes. And then I love,
Uh,
not to backtrack, but you know how we were talking about the rating challenges? And I think it
mhm.
was Alaska that said to, uh, who's the one that didn't like Jinx? What was her name?
Wasn't that Roxy?
Roxy, yes. But
Yeah.
in the All Star season, she was like, "Oh, looks like hatred for Jinx Monsoon does the body good." I
Yeah.
know they reconciled and everything, so it's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, season
But
5 is good.
it's incredible to see the journey
Yes,
for sure.
season 5. Season 7 has Trixie and Katya, also a good one. Season 3, I think, is Trixie's All Star season.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
Star 7 has Jinx, so watch that.
We'll
Just
put
watch
the
them all, but
essentials.
these are the ones
Put the
that were like,
essentials in a
yes,
bullet point guide in the description.
yes.
It's like watch these seasons in this order because we said
Also, I can't remember the season number, but whatever season Bianca Del Rio's in,
that's 6.
6,
You
yes.
could really just do 5, 6, and 7 like back to back to
Yep,
back.
yep.
Really. I think
Go
that's what I
watch
did,
them.
honestly.
I think I was a late bloomer to season 6 until you were like, you have to watch Bianca Del
It
Rio.
was good.
And I was like,
It was very
okay,
good.
yes. But go watch I say it's like one of my favorites now. Something that you can just watch constantly, and you can go back on
Yeah,
YouTube and watch all the clips.
it's the only
Yeah,
reality TV show that I watch.
that and
It's
I
the only
used to
reality TV
watch.
that I watch.
I used to watch, and I should make you watch this so we can talk about it. Dance
But
Moms. Maybe that will be a future
mm,
episode. Gotta make you. There's 8
we'll see.
seasons. It's nuts. You should see
I
how.
believe it.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the memes from
Mhm.
that too. So
So go watch it. Also, go follow us on TikTok. Now we have TikTok.
yeah,
We have
yes we do.
Instagram.
We also have Instagram. I was about to say.
And then each of us, we have our personal TikToks. If you want to follow us on
All the
there.
links will be there.
Yes, we have a
All the
link
good stuff.
tree thing. Other than that, we'll see you next time.
And have a good week.
And don't fuck it up.